Let's give a big hand.
June 1975, a national emergency was declared under Article 352 of our Constitution. What followed was a 21 months period that tested the resilience of Indian democracy. Fundamental rights were suspended, press censorship was imposed, many politicians was arrested. It was really a defining moment for a young democracy. But today, 50 years later, we do not gather here merely to recall the past. We gather to understand its lessons. The first lesson is democracy is precious but fragile. The emergency reminds us that democracy is just not about election. It is about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to question. These rights must never be taken for granted. Second lesson that we can learn is institutions must remain strong. A democracy survives when institutions like parliament, judiciary, media, and civil societies function independently and responsibly. When any pillar weakens, the entire democratic structure feels the strain. The third lesson, the power ultimately lies with the people. In 1977, when election was finally held, the people expresses their democratic right decisively. The peaceful change of government restored faith in the Constitution. That moment proved that the spirit of Indians cannot be suppressed for long. My dear young friends, today we speak of Viksit Bharat 24/7. Development must not only be measured only on gross domestic product, infrastructure, or technology. A truly developed nation is one where citizens are fearless, bold, courageous, well-informed, and participative. You, the youths, are the guarantors of tomorrow's democracy. Ask questions fearlessly, engage in dialogue, respect differing opinions, stand for constitutional values. The emergency is not a chapter to create division. It is a chapter to build awareness. It teaches us to be vigilant, responsibility, and the importance of balancing power with accountability. If India has emerged stronger after such trial, it is because its citizens value democracy dearly. Let this youth parliament not merely simulate government. Let it inspire leadership rooted in ethics, integrity, and constitutional commitment. As we mark 50 years of this defining period, let us pledge that India will witness to grow not only as a powerful nation, but as a principled democracy. May you lead India towards a future where freedom and development works hand in hand.
Viksit Bharat vision aims to transform our nation into a strong, inclusive, inclusive and sustainable country by the year 2047, marking 100 years since India's gained independence. However, the journey towards a developed India cannot be achieved by process of a few regions alone. True national development happens when every step, every community, and every citizen grows together. In this context, my home state, Nagaland, holds an important place in the story of Viksit Bharat. Nagaland is blessed with rich heritage, vibrant tradition, and breathtaking natural landscapes. Our community are built on value of unity, resilience, and respect for nature. These strengths give Nagaland immense potential to contribute to the growth of our nation. For Nagaland to play a strong role in the vision of Viksit Bharat, we must continue investing in quality education, skill development, and better infrastructure, improved connectivity, digital access, and sustainable tourism. Tourism can open new opportunities for our youth and strengthen our local economy. At the same time, development should come at the cost of our identity. Preserving our indigenous culture, languages, and traditions is equally important as we move forward. The youth of Nagaland are creative, talented, and capable of bringing positive change. If we embrace knowledge, innovation, and hard work while staying rooted in our values, we can help shape a future where Nagaland thrives alongside the rest of India.
The Youth Parliament, which was initially known as the Mock Parliament, was introduced in schools in Delhi in the 1966 to 67 academic session. That was with the aim to foster democratic values in the students, in the school students. Later on, many years later, it was extended to Kendra Vidyalayas in, I believe, around 1987, and it was introduced in universities and colleges in the 1997 to 98 academic session. So the present Youth Parliament, Viksit Bharat Youth Parliament, that's the name given now. So this is aligned, this Viksit Bharat Youth Parliament is aligned with the vision of a developed India, a progressive India by the year 2047. And so this is a platform offered to the youth, especially college and university students between the ages of 18 and 25, to share their views, their ideas, and to give significant input towards nation building and towards achieving the goal of a developed India by 2047. And so this is a national program being held all over the nation in all universities. So, although this gathering here, our gathering is just a small gathering, but I believe that the discussion or the speeches that are going to be delivered here will have an impact. Will have an impact towards the goal of the government and towards this vision. So I wish all the students who are going to deliver their speeches on the theme of a very meaningful speech. I mean that you can deliver a very meaningful speech. So let's have a impactful session. So with that, I, in conclusion, once again, heartily welcome on behalf of the college all our respected guests.
Fundamental right enshrined in Article 32, Part 3, Article 12 to 32 of the Indian Constitution were fragmented. Habeas corpus enshrined in Article 35 and 226 of the Indian Constitution that defends the citizen from unlawful detention was rejected. Freedom of press enshrined in Article 19, Part 1, Clause A of the Indian Constitution was forbidden. The judiciary became the mere puppet of the ruling government. Just imagine getting arrested because simply you're an Indian. Thousands and lakhs of Indians, including the oppositional leaders, students, and journalists, were detained on the ground of defense of India rule, DIR, and maintenance of internal security, MISA. So what are the key lessons we learned from these emergencies? Firstly, Constitution becomes weak and fragile if the citizen does not defend it. Secondly, media and press is the cornerstone of a democratic society. It scrutinizes the government activities, ensuring transparency, accountability, and free flow of information to all the sections of the society. Thirdly, judiciary should remain independent. Judiciary should ensure that justice prevails during the time of crisis. Fourthly, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people clearly states that people should be the source of authority, and therefore people should remain vigilant and should ensure and should hold the government accountable. Fifthly, unchecked power corrupts. Therefore, the oppositions, the NGOs, should be the watchdog and should ensure stability of a nation. As we mark the 50 years of emergency, let us remember that democracy is about the rights, integrity, accountability of a nation. Let us respect our constitution and let us uphold the value of justice, equality, and fraternity.
What we call the world's largest democracy expressed a phase where democratic institutions were severely tested. But 50 years later, the real question is not what happened, but what did we learn? The first lesson is the importance of fundamental rights and constitutional safeguards. The suspension of civil liberties during the emergency reminded us why rights like freedom of speech, protection from arbitrary arrest, and judicial reviews are important. After the emergency, the 44th Constitutional Amendment was passed to ensure that such swing powers could not be misused easily again. The term internal disturbance was replaced with armed rebellion, making it harder to declare such emergency. Another important lesson is about the duty of citizens. Democracy is not just about voting once every 5 years. It requires informed citizens who questions, who debates, and who participates. The emergency period showed how silence can strengthen authoritarian tendencies, while awareness can restore balance. India chose democracy at independence and not dictatorship, and democracy means disagreement, discussions, and diversity of opinions. 50 years later, as we walk towards the vision Viksit Bharat 2047, let us remember that economic growth alone does not define development. True development includes strong institutions, protected rights, and active citizenships. In conclusion, the greatest lesson we learn from democracy is not just about how we suffer, but the greatest lesson is Democracy is not self-sustaining. It must be protected, nurtured, and strengthened by every generation. As youth, we are not just the leaders of tomorrow. We are the guardians of democracy today. Let us learn from the past, uphold our constitution, and ensure that the spirit of liberty, justice, and equality remains alive for the next 50 years and beyond. Thank you.
For 21 months, democracy did not disappear, but it was placed under restraint. 50 years later, we must ask, what did that period truly teach us? Today I will present 2 lessons, not many, but enough. Lesson 1, never normalize unchecked power. Democracy weakens not in a sudden dramatic moment, but when citizens begin to accept silence to be normal, and accept silence to be normal. The emergency reminds us that no leader, however powerful, is above constitutional principles. And as citizens, what we must avoid? We must avoid blind support towards, without critical thinking. We must avoid silence that threatens our rights. And because once freedom is surrendered casually, it is regained painfully. And the second point is, democracy survives only when citizens participate. The most powerful chapter of this story came in 1977 when people started to vote. Through the ballot system, democracy was restored. This is the strength of India. This teaches us what we should do. This teaches us what we should do, and we should question respectfully. We should vote responsibly when our time comes. Democracy is not the duty of the politicians alone, but it is the daily responsibility of the citizens. Let us ensure that power remains accountable. Let us ensure that institution remains independent, and above all, let us ensure that we as citizens will not be
a platform. It's a platform where your voice, your ideas, your visions of the youth truly matters. And also, I just want to let you remember one number, that is 1,12,000. 1,12,000 during the emergency 1975. It's not just a number, but 1,12,000 people, academicians, scientists, journalists, students are detained. And therefore, that has become a dark spot in the history of our constitution, in our democratic constitution. We are not here simply to remember 1975, but we are here because even modern tools, surveillance, mass data collection, our WhatsApp, our Instagram, all this can achieve what Article 52 has achieved in 1975. So, in conclusion, I want to go back to our former president, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He dreamed of a developed nation when he was a president of India. So, who did he look up to? He didn't look up to politicians, he didn't look up to officers, but he looked up to the youth. And that is you, whoever is standing here today, going to stand here today. So I encourage all our students to speak fearlessly, boldly, think bigger, because India 2047 has a chapter with your name on it, and you must ensure that 2047 develop India, Viksit Bharat. And we also have to let the world know that the youth of Zunheboto is ready for Viksit Bharat 2047. Let's begin. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Maratha, Dravida, Uttara, Banga, Vindhya,